Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Now Showing. Each episode, we usually highlight a movie as a brand new release, but this time we're doing something a little different. We're doing TV show. That's right. We're doing Alien Earth. If you have been following us on this journey, you know that the last episode we did the first two episodes. And this episode, we're doing episodes 3 and 4, which are titled, Mike, what are they called?
Metamorphosis and Observation.
In that order. So let's get into it. Hopefully you're following along. If not, that's okay. You know, we do spoil, so you might want to stop listening to us and watching us. So we'll wait. Okay, you're back. All right. So Mike, you think you can give us where we left off a little bit? Just something really quick, or no? Do you think that's too much to ask? I know we've never done this before, so I don't really know.
We last left our intrepid group of lost boys who are children placed in synthetic bodies. They were sick children put in wet bodies. The leader of them, Wendy, was going to try to find her brother, who was investigating a crashed ship in the city of New Siam, where 5 different alien species had escaped. Dangerous alien species that belonged to Weyland-Yutani. However, they crashed in Prodigy Land, which is a different corporation, one of 5 that own the Earth now. One of those aliens that escaped was the Xenomorph and a whole bunch of facehugger eggs. When we last left Wendy, her brother was tackled by the Xenomorph and was falling to his seeming death, and Wendy jumped after him. And that's where we kind of pick up.
Yes. So we are. Metamorphosis. We start off right back at the ship. And I remember last week I said, I hope we're not in the ship this whole series. So I got a little nervous. But that they wrapped that up pretty quick in the beginning. I guess it makes sense for the Xenomorph to grab him and set up a trap. I don't know why we're setting up a trap for her to come down and capture him. What if he just took the guy to take the guy? I don't know why we're setting up a trap, but okay, whatever. And then she fights him, and obviously she kills him. We don't see it. It's off screen. And the acid doesn't really go too far down. It just kind of sits there. Whatever, no big deal. And they end up going back to the secret island. And I guess my first question is, how secret is this island? Because they just brought everyone back and his unit that was with him, which they were a pretty big part of the first episode and it's first and second episode. And obviously most of the unit's gone away, but the 2 main people that are there, the brother was talking with quite a bit, and they're barely in the 3rd episode. They're at the beginning, and you see them and then have a couple conversations at the end, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It was very odd. I don't know how you felt about that.
I didn't really mind at all. I didn't figure we'd see much of them at all after the ship landed anyway. I figured it was all just an excuse to introduce her brother, Reg. I can't remember this kid's name. They call him something else. His nickname is something stupid.
Well, his name is Joe, but yeah, whatever.
Joe, right? Joe Namath. It's what they nicknamed, or what she calls him, and they call him Hermit. Hermit. That's right.
Well, Hermit's is
his actual last name. So you know, they're just there to kind of introduce us to Hermit. So I didn't think we'd see him at all. I assume they're just going to be fodder for the inevitable 4 Xenomorphs that are going to be born from those facehuggers later. So one's born.
We've already got one at the end of 4. So
there's 3 more to go. So I think that they'll be cannon fodder. They'll be the guys with guns, you know, living a little bit longer than the no-named guards and then getting it, or getting facehugged themselves. So I think that's why they're there. I didn't really miss them or be like, oh, why don't they have more lines? I was surprised they were even there to begin with. If anything, maybe they're also kind of bargaining chips for Boy Cavalier to get him to do whatever he wants. Like, do this experiment with your sister, or else, you know, we'll kill your friends, or they'll be fired or shipped off.
Right. One of our, I guess issues or concerns with the last 2 episodes was the mental age of the Lost Boys, the 6 or 5 others. 5, right?
I think it's 5. I
Wendy
feel like
and 5. Okay. Yeah, 5. The 3 guys and 2 girls. And so we were just kind of, I know we were back and forth on that in terms of like, you know, why send them on this mission and whatnot. So now we see them in these 2 episodes and we kind of go into a little bit of their personalities. We still have the 2, I guess, what is it? Slightly and who's his buddy all the time?
Slightly and Smee.
Yeah. They're like really still like kid-like a little bit.
They're very chill.
Yeah, the Slightly has a little bit of a subplot going on here with the cyborg or whatever.
Morrow. Yep.
Yeah, and then you have. I wish I could remember these people's names. It's really
that's why I got the cast list right here. Who you're looking for? Curly. Curly's the girl.
Curly is obviously trying to curry favor with Boy Cavalier. I'm just as smart as Wendy, and she's doing all that stuff. So we're doing a little mean girl thing there. But then you have, obviously you still have what's his face. He wanted to be named Isaac now. Toodles, right? He wanted to be named Isaac, so he's kind of into it. He's downloading all this stuff. He wants to be a scientist, so he's kind of moving forward. But then you have, and what's her name? Nibs, who is clearly going crazy. Talk a little bit about what's going on with Nibs, and do you like that? And I guess, do you like where they're headed with all the different Lost Boys?
So first of all, I think that the fact that our first question going out of the first 2 episodes was that they're kids in adult body. Why did you even bring them there? And the beginning of episode 3 starts with the caretaker for the children and the chief operating officer of them, whatever he is.
But the husband wife team, the older boy.
No, okay. Not him. The guy who's like the software engineer, the engineer who's
right. Which you find out in these episodes that they are married. You didn't know that before. Yeah.
But they have a conversation even with Boy Cavalier of, you know, why did you send them in? They're just children. They weren't ready for this. So they tackle that question head on, which I very much appreciated. I think that Nib's storyline, I didn't really like. Okay. Because I like that she's affected by the squid creature having tried to kill her. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to have to learn more about what's going on with her, because then switching into, I'm pregnant now. And like the violence of, I'm not human. Is she having a breakdown? Is it because of her near death experience? Is it because, as they say in the first or second episode, they don't have the chemicals that would in their bodies that would lead them to puberty, lead them through rational thought, lead them and evolve them into adults. So it's kind of got to be taught to them and evolve through programming rather than biology. Right. So is this that she's in an adult synthetic body and she doesn't really have she's chemically imbalanced perhaps, and there's no way to fix that because she doesn't have a real human brain anymore. So I'm gonna have to see more with that. It was just kind of very odd, but I'm sure it'll pay. I'm sure they're gonna do something with it down the line. They're just not gonna leave her in her locked room forever. But those scenes were very strange to me, very odd. Raj is a little bit more interesting, but I think he's a little bit of a kind of a puss. I mean, I know he's in an 11-year-old's body, but it's kind of like, why wouldn't you tell an adult?
You're talking about
Raj is his real name, right? Slightly, yeah.
Slightly, yeah.
Slightly. Why wouldn't you tell an adult? Like you would tell an adult if you were really a child, and he seems the most childish of these children. I don't see why he wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Morrow's in my brain. When Kirsch kind of confronts him and waits for him to say something, I think an 11-year-old would speak up.
Right.
But instead he tries to hide it. And he does it really, obviously he's not fooling Kirsch, but he tries to with that clever, I'm protecting, with this hear no evil, see no evil, I would protect my friends is clearly, I'm protecting Morrow. I think that I like where that storyline's going. And I like that, he's given this impossible choice to make as a child. So of course he's going to end up doing something that's going to cause the alien to escape. But I think that while it's interesting, I think that he would have spoken up. So I don't really know if I like that choice. I like the options presented to him, but I don't know if I like where we're going with that. I don't know how you feel. I mean, I'm going off of what I know to be an 11-year-old or back then, but like you have kids. So like, what do you think Toodles would have done? Do you think he would have spoken up, or do you think he'd be hiding it?
You mean Slightly?
Slightly. I'm sorry. Yeah, slightly.
When he also has Morrow in his ear, so
right,
because he tells him. I'm surprised Morrow didn't tell him more. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty scary for an 11-year-old, so I can see him not just wanting to just not say anything. He just doesn't want Kirsch to be mad at him, that kind of thing. Doesn't want to get in trouble, that kind of thing. So I can definitely see him clamming up. I'm just curious how Kirsch kind of like, he knows that what happened because they flashed to a point where I guess he saw it happen. He saw the device get absorbed into Slightly's neck. Because they cut to him staring, and then they cut to that shot like he's remembering it, like it's in his memory. He's got
the camera footage basically in himself.
Right.
He's analyzing it. And he saw it.
So I think the biggest question out of all that is I don't think he would, because is Kirsch going to let him get somebody face hugged, basically, because he wants to. I love how in all these alien movies there's always I'm going to smuggle it out through someone who's going to get infected. Like, that's how I'm going to do it. When when Morrow could barely control the xenomorph when it was in running around in the building.
The hubris of these rich people are what keeps driving everybody.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if it doesn't make sense for Kirsch to let it happen because they've already done it. So what's the purpose? But I'm just curious if he's gonna allow that to happen. And obviously, Slightly wants to have it to be the brother because he's jealous. Because that's the last shot in episode 4 where he's just staring at him, and But I just don't think I really don't think he's smart enough or mature enough to pull this off. I think it's just. It's a balancing act where they can't handle certain things, but they can. But you're asking them, like Morrow's asking him to do something that's pretty intense, that for an 11-year-old is very scary to do. So Slightly not wanting to do it and being hesitant to do it, it makes sense. But it's a tightrope. Like, I wish. I kind of wish, but they can learn all this stuff. Like Boy Cavalier tells Curly, I'm going to give you a bunch of books. I'm going to give you tapes to read. And Toodles or Isaac now is uploading a bunch of stuff so he can learn. So they can get smart, but we're not, there's no, like you said, they have to, with programming, become mature. Yeah. We haven't even started any of that. So, I mean, and one of the things I told you today off camera is I'm very scared that they don't have enough episodes to wrap this up, whatever this big story they're doing. And I feel like we're going to get a season 8 finale where it's just going to be meh, because it's not going to answer enough of the questions that I want answered. And we're 4 episodes and we're halfway in it. I just don't know what's going to happen. I have not in a good way, like, ooh, what's going to happen? I'm just like, where is this going? And then Mike, answer this. Not only where's this going, but how is this going to wrap into the entire alien universe? Because that's still in the back of my head with everything that we know already. And this answer that, but also this could probably lead into the big quote unquote phony controversy from this, because the changing of that whole thing. So first answer that question, then lead into that. Like, so
I don't think it has to lead into the alien films at all. What I'm getting at is it very standalone. They're on this island. This alien can absolutely be contained, destroyed. Weyland-Yutani already knows about the xenomorph now. They've already clearly named it, which I thought was a very useless scene. You have Morrow getting all the information, deleting all the information, but Kirsch got the information before he deleted it anyway. So I was like, then why do we need this scene where it's like, oh, he deleted everything, they'll never have these files?
We just need to see Morrow like sweating profusely with these things attached to his head. Like,
I don't need him downloading the information. He could just be down there for the eggs, which is why he meets the two of them. I didn't need him down there for both things. I thought that was kind of useless. But I could see it standalone because they're on the island. Weyland-Yutani already has it. The aliens clearly can't go to the mainland, or else you don't have the rest of the franchise. If Weyland-Yutani could get the aliens, they wouldn't send a ship at great expense filled with ores and other stuff. Like, that ship had a lot of cargo on it. That's what they say in Aliens. If we were to say Aliens take place, which I think Noah Hawley isn't saying none of the Alien movies took place.
No, I know that.
So that's worth a lot of money. So Weyland-Yutani clearly doesn't get these aliens at the end. So I think we stand alone. The question is what happens with Prodigy? What happens with Prodigy, and what happens to these synthetics, these children, this next stage in our, technological evolution? I think that's fascinating. I'm very curious and interested to see what happens with that.
Well, Nibs could be the answer to that because they could all just start having psychological breaks.
Yeah, Nibs could be the first one, especially when the Xenomorph and, obviously Eyeball Squid Boy is going to get out somehow. We're going to see some sheep murder pretty soon. So, and I think we've still only met, 3 of the 4 aliens. There's still 2 other. Oh, we met the plant creature. We just don't know what it does, but we saw the plant, right. The bugs, the squid, the Xenomorph.
And then
we don't know what it took yet.
Yeah. Unless the face hugger's the 5th one. I don't know.
Oh, which I think we do mention. I think we did mention that last week, that the face hugger and the Xenomorph might be considered 2 different species.
Right.
When they first captured them anyway.
Right.
But I don't know, because also Morrow says that the Xenomorph didn't happen until the egg broke loose. Although I also think that's very interesting. What Morrow says to the kids about, what's human is human, wanting to save your crew, but knowing you can't because you're under orders. Is it having all these parts and following orders, or having emotion and realize the only person you can save is yourself? He's a very interesting, conflicted character, although he comes across as very evil, especially after the fact. It's like, I've lost everything. I've been gone for 65 years. I don't have a family. This is all I have left. I'm going to get you those Xenomorphs. I still find him to be an interesting villain.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know if he's the ultimate villain. I think obviously Boy Cavalier is going to end up being the ultimate villain.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I like. I don't get me wrong. As we said, if you watch the show, rich people suck. I'm not a fan of rich people, but having him be so one note, having him be so similar in attitude and action to the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, that's not interesting. You don't need a second one of them because you already have Weyland-Yutani. Let him be something different. Which I was almost really mad at the end of the 3rd episode, which I thought was the best episode so far, when it looks like they're going to put. I thought they were going to put that damaged lung back in Hermit with the tadpole alien, which that could lead into the thing. But I was like, oh, don't do that. So generic. And to have Kirsch be in on it, I was just like, so the alien's bad and following orders to watch the alien grow and let somebody die. We saw this with David already. We've seen this with with Paul Reiser's character in Aliens. I don't need this again. But then it turns out they didn't put that lung back. They're using that as an incubator. I was like, that's interesting. And that's different. Boy Cavalier even says, wouldn't you be interested? Wouldn't you be curious to know what we did with your old lung? So I was like, all right. So he's not the same kind of generic evil we've seen before, but I still am afraid of that. But I assume that tadpole, you think, is what they're talking about with the chain alien.
I'm going to guess that's what they say as retconned. Like, okay, so because I don't remember. I mean, they just say they planted egg. They never really show when the facehugger implants the egg in somebody, right?
All they say is it impregnates them. Yeah. So why can't it be a little tadpole?
I'm guessing that's what they're saying. That's what the issue is. I don't know.
We just watched all 10 of the other Alien franchise films, and there was never an X-ray showing exactly what the facehugger was shooting into the people. Right. Why can't it be a tadpole? I think that makes a ton of sense, because the alien already goes through stages from the snake thing to then in Romulus, we finally saw it goes into a cocoon to break out. Why can't it be a tadpole that they shoot in? And it's just an incubator. We're clearly we're incubators for it. I think that they think it was a sperm and egg situation, because that doesn't make any sense. I thought that's really stupid for people to be like that up in arms online, although everybody will make excuse to do anything clickbaity. Like, I was just okay, I buy it.
But the comment also was that it retconned Prometheus. And if they're talking about the black goo, that's different. That's the start of life. That has nothing to do with the facehuggers. That's where they all come from.
Yeah, the
Like,
species has started. It's begun already. That's how we started.
it's like you don't watch the movies. You just say things to say things. Like,
Or they watch it and they just don't get it.
right. Like the exactly. I don't follow that logic. I'm okay with it was fine. I mean, but the alien that we get is an eel. Yeah. So, and I know that the whole thing is obviously because now she can talk to them. And that's the whole thing that she can communicate with them. Think of yourself as a microphone, whatever he says to her, as a whatever. But my question to you is, how? Why?
I don't know. I'm going on a lot of faith there. I think this show so far has been exceeding my expectations in terms of my interest in it, in terms of what they're trying to do, the story they're telling. Like I'm not trying to hold that back. I do think this show is really, really good, but I don't like that right now. I think that's stupid. It comes across as just silly. So I have faith that hopefully it'll be explained in a way that doesn't make me roll my eyes or throw my hands up in the air. But right now, that's when she opened her mouth just a little bit. I went, I was kind of done with it. I don't get it. So I don't get it unless she's part alien. But then Boy Cavalier had to have known about the aliens. Like her synthetic body is part alien. Unless that's another thing they're retconning, is that the aliens aren't real. They're synthetic.
Well, no, they're real, but who knows? And it's not that she can, like, why can she hear them at whatever wavelength, but the others cannot? Like, why did you? That's the other thing too. Why, if you have more money than, and God knows how much money you have, why do you make one synthetic more advanced than the other five? Why do you? I don't understand that. So,
clearly she is.
Yeah,
so,
and Curly says she has a supercomputer, so she's got something. I don't.
She's the only one with the power to control computers as well. She is a supercomputer in her brain, and she has the power to, which so they didn't know that she'd be able to do, but she does.
Oh, Wendy,
yeah.
Yeah, because she can
control hacks with her
magic.
Mind.
Yeah. So I am not as high as you on the
Shocker.
series. Shut up. Partly because the performances are really good, and there's moments in the show that I enjoy. I like Timothy Olyphant. I always have. So everything he's in,
I really like Kirsch.
He's really good. And I should take back the Book Cavalier thing I said about him being the ultimate villain, because I could also see Kirsch being the ultimate villain, because he is the android. He is the synthetic, that usually pans out to be the bad guy.
It's just we've seen it before so many times.
No, but that's where I'm going. That's my point. There's a lot of stuff in here that I've seen already. And it's not the fault of Alien Earth. I know that. But when you create another show, when you create a series within an IP that's 40 years old, 79, right?
50. It's got to be almost closing in on 50.
Late 70s, yeah. Close to 50 years old. You can't, there's not many places you can go. And so it's not, so everything I'm seeing, while it's done well, and I love Noah Hawley because I love Fargo and I've read a couple of his books. I really like him as a storyteller. It's not my hesitation with being like, this show's so good, is because I've seen all this, and there's nothing in here that's not new for me, except the fact that she could talk, like I said, and there's parts in here that I enjoy, that is interesting. That's like, okay, that's new, but not much.
Well, here's my counterpoint to that.
Go ahead.
You love Law and Order. That show's been on for 30 something years. And every episode, every different spinoff is the exact same show.
Well, I don't watch SVO. Okay. And I will. And here's my thing for that.
Why?
It's a procedural.
What's different with that?
Okay, but I don't watch SVU because I got sick and tired of SVU. I like Criminal Intent, because Criminal Intent it's different, because it's almost like he's like a Sherlock Holmes type character, and he solves a case. It stays with the cops. Law and Order is procedural. They are based on cases in real life. There are countless different cases throughout that they go off of. And yes, sometimes it repeats itself, but there's new actors, and I get it. But it's a procedural. That maybe is the expectation. It's not like it's not like they are playing it where the rules can change in that world a little bit, because as the years go on, things change, laws change, perceptions change, issues change, gangs change. We are right now, Mike, we are in the alien universe, and we both know, what happens in the alien universe. Like you talked about, you were hoping that they didn't do, or they put the thing in Joe, because that was the expectation, and they didn't. Like they didn't put the baby in there and seal him back up, because that's the expectation. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's just, and it's a weird thing, because I'm not really blaming the show. It's just the fact that the IP's been around so long that it's tough for me to get excited, because I just feel like I've seen a lot of this already, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old person and I'll never get excited. It's a well-made show, and I'm into it, and I'm going to watch it, and I want to see how it ends. I just have a lot of concerns that I'm going to get disappointed. Maybe that's the biggest thing.
I mean, I still have those same concerns, because I'm waiting for those generic heel turns the same as you. But right now, because they're not leaning into them, or they almost lean into them and they switch, that I'm hoping that everything that seems like it's going to be generic, or they're going to stick to the old ways, is a bait and switch. And like you said, Noah Hawley, I haven't seen the TV show for Fargo, but I know how well received it is. I know that studios wanted to give him Star Trek. I know they wanted to give him Alien.
Well, he did Legion, right? I think I saw the first couple.
I believe he did Legion, which I liked, but was a little too weird for me. He's got the street cred to be like, all right,
sure.
I'm hoping that, everyone else's trust in him is not misplaced here. Ridley Scott seems like such an ornery bastard now in his old age, that I really feel like if he didn't like something Alien, he would just straight up say, in interviews now, I hate it, it's shit. Or he just wouldn't have let Noah Hawley do it to begin with. So I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. I really liked Romulus. Although Romulus had a lot of issues. I think I like this a little bit. I think this is more well made than Romulus.
So far.
But Romulus was a good time. It's a higher tier Alien movie for sure. And I liked, we talked about, I thought Andy was awesome. He's in that new Stephen King movie, the one where they're marching.
The Long Walk. That's based
and I was
on.
like, it's Andy. Story. I might want to watch it. Stephen King's pseudonym.
Yes.
Before he got found out.
I'm pretty sure it was in the same compilation that had Shawshank.
Okay, so it was like a compilation. Oh, because he was Bachman, so it wasn't all like spooky stories. It was,
I believe so. Yeah,
different ones.
I did read it. It's basically what you imagine. It's a long walk, and the whole book is kids getting killed, dying until the end. The last one survives. That's it. That's the story, pretty much.
But yeah, so I have hope. But I have those same fears you do. I'm just hoping against hope that they don't fall back on the shitty road.
Well, we're halfway. So give me one expectation that you're guessing that where we're going to go here. It doesn't have to be like how it's going to end, but just kind of like one subplot or storyline that you think we're going down.
I think we're going down Kirsch v. Boy Cavalier. One of them is going to end up the bad guy. One of them is going to end up not exceeding expectations, going against expectation, going against the norm. That's either going to be Boy Cavalier ending up more of a John Hammond, like John Hammond was that rich kind of jerk in the novels, but in the films, he is a good guy. Or Kirsch goes the Bishop route instead of the Ash route, because right now he is really teetering on the line. Sometimes when he talks to those kids, it seems like he has a genuine emotion toward them. And then sometimes it's like he pets that egg at the end. And like those moments where you're just he's gonna David it. He's gonna be David. And I think by the show's end, one of them will basically take control of Prodigy, or at least the island. But I think by the end of the show, we'll set up a much more Game of Thronesy company v company kind of thing. Right now it's just Wayland and Prodigy, which we still haven't seen much of Wayland Yutani. I think by the end of it, we'll start to see the other companies come into play. I think one of the very vague descriptions. Yeah. One of the vague descriptions for one of the episodes coming out I think mentions the meeting of the companies to try to
The five.
Yeah, because they have to negotiate and they who gets the aliens and try to figure out peacefully what's going on with all the aliens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's my thing. I'm thinking Boy Cavalier v. Kirsch. If we're just saying one thing, by the end
whatever.
Of the,
If that's your biggest,
I think a whole bunch of Lost Boys are also going to die.
Yeah, I think either by like Nibs, like psychotic break, or or like Wendy's gonna have to stop slightly from killing her brother or something like that. That's gonna be a kind of like a button heads kind of thing. I can't see them killing off Joe when they just spent the first 2 episodes saving him. And then you know what I mean? So
well, yeah, Joe's interesting because the aliens didn't kill him like 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of Wendy, unless it's because the alien has a connection to Wendy.
Which we don't know.
This is my brother. Yeah. So I think Joe will survive at least up until the end.
Do you think that Wendy will, now that she can communicate with the aliens, that she will, like, you know, there's going to be a bunch of xenomorphs and aliens that she's going to control? I mean, she's going to
end up banging one of them and making another alien hybrid like in Resurrection.
Oh, God. Mom. Which that alien in, no one's made this connection yet, so I will make it first here. The alien human hybrid in 4 looks very similar to the hybrid dinosaur in Jurassic Rebirth. It's very similar to the part I was like, ugh, God, why do I know this? And then I was like, oh God, Alien 4. So, yeah, I'm into it. I'm going to watch it. I'm not as excited as you. I think I'm expecting to get let down. I think
glass half empty. I worry. Glass half empty.
No, you're glass half empty. I worry about it's 8 episodes. So, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that you're talking about, like like your Kirsch v. Boy Cavalier, like that whole thing. Like, I don't think that's going to come at episode 8. That'll be like the next
season. Finale will set up like them face to face. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to tick me off.
Yeah. The only issue with that, and we talked about last time, I don't want to get in a whole rant, but that we're going to wait 3 years for the next season.
Maybe.
Like, because that's what TV shows are now. And it's like, I watched 8 episodes. You're going to take 2 years off. It's probably season 2 probably isn't even written. It's probably a vague outline or a napkin.
Do you know offhand?
I don't have to wait.
What the like with Dexter Resurrection, which I watch, the plan is that they have a 3-season plan. Like, that's what's going on. Like, they have 3 seasons that they know what they're going to do so that it's already been renewed for 2nd season. So then it can go on after that if it's successful in Paramount.
It's successful, right?
Does this show have that as well, or are they just going season to season?
It's super. I think Noah Hawley has an idea, because I think that was his plot. He actually said if we keep going 7-8 years down the line, the show will have to cross over with the Alien films at some point. I think that's what he said in an interview. But I haven't heard him say anything about, oh, my 2nd season is this. I do know he wants to do a show that's Game of Thronesy about the different corporations going against each other, which we haven't really seen yet. So that tells me he has an idea of what the show's going to become.
Okay.
And maybe the Xenomorphs more of like your entryway into, hey, here's your alien, and now we're going to kill him off. Are you cool if we do corporations versus synthetics, and maybe the squid guy comes up every once in a while? So I think that's the plan. Although Disney usually remains very tight-lipped, has not been like aliens doing great. The viewing numbers are skyrocketing. I haven't seen any article talking about that. It's a super well-reviewed show, but Disney hasn't really been like, oh, our numbers have been amazing and this and that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're just letting it cook and seeing what reviewers keep saying episode to episode.
I mean, sci-fi horror is not like it's not going to put butts in the seats.
It's a niche audience, but I think that's what I still think they thought, well, Game of Thrones fantasy doesn't really necessarily do that. And look at Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I just think Disney's trying to figure out what they want to do with the Alien and Predator franchise still. I like Alien Earth. I'd like to see it keep going, but I'd like to see it go without the aliens. At least I don't need to see a xenomorph every season because I don't want to get
I think that's what you're
xenoed
gonna
out.
get. I think that's what you're going to get because it's called Alien Earth.
I know. There's 5 other aliens crossover with the Predator one season. Clearly, they've been messing with Weyland-Yutani for a while.
Do you think that we're going to see Morrow on the island at some point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where else is is it Toodles? No, not Toodles. Why did they have to go and say his real name? Because now I don't know anybody's name.
Slightly.
Where else is Slightly going to bring the body when it gets infected? How's he getting off the island? He's got cameras in his eyes.
Yeah. If that even happens.
I think Morrow will have to, I think Slightly's going to get in trouble. Because Kirsch, regardless of whether Kirsch is Ash or Bishop in the situation, or David or Bishop in the situation, he's either going to not let him kill a human being or he's not going to let his own experiment off the island. And he already is in on Morrow. So Morrow's going to have to be like, looks like I'll have to finish the job myself. Then it'll be a Captain Hook versus Peter Pan kind of thing. Only Peter Pan in this case is Wendy. He's even got the hook hand because he's got that knife that comes out of his hand.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions after see episode 4. I like the I don't. What am I missing? What haven't we talked about within the two?
So the husband and wife team, the psychologist and the software engineer. I don't know what exactly his title is. I think she betrays her husband.
Okay.
I think that's coming. Well, he gets her to that secret spot and he's trying to be like, I don't like this. I don't like this. She seemed to be he's the boss. What are you doing? We shouldn't be here having this conversation. Let's talk about it over dinner. Her attitude made it seem like she was going to rat on her own husband.
Okay.
She might be annoyed by the way Boy Cavalier approaches things, but I think she's all in on his vision and his delusions or not delusions of grandeur. And I think she kills her husband or sets him up to be captured at some point. I think that's coming.
But then who's going to do the science? Boy Cavalier. He's going to sit there and do all that stuff
I'll do it myself. He's supposedly a genius. No one's smart enough to have a conversation with him.
Do you think that, they spent a lot of time on the eyeball octopus and what he did with the sheep and they kind of talked about it quite a bit. So do you think that that's going to, flesh out a little bit, for the lack of a better term, flesh out a little bit more?
Yeah, I think they were like, we like this guy the best. The octopus, I think IGN called it. I think he's a cool bad guy. He's gross, but kind of cute in his own little eyeball-y kind of way. He's an interesting alien. I think you'll start to see some stuff with that. That's why I think they introduced the other aliens so that you don't get xenomorphed out. Sure. The xenomorphs there, but hey, we've got all these different guys too that you're going to be very like. I'm still very curious to see what the plant actually does. So I think eyeball guy, we'll see a sheep on the run, or maybe it is interested in synthetics. Is it eating the things that it's in, or is it using the things as vessels? And how intelligent is it? Because they scan its gamma waves, and Kirsch says it's very, very intelligent.
Right. And I think that's the thing too. Like when you saw it into the cat was basically desiccated. So it must suck dry the host. So it probably can't. So I'm curious to see what happens with the sheep in the next episode. Is the sheep suddenly falling apart and has to move on, that kind of thing? So it could be that too. Yeah. And it probably wants a brain that it can really connect with, that it can make it that it can do the things that it wants to do. So you're right. Maybe it will. You had Nibs. Well, went after Nibs in the beginning, and then you have this episode scene where she's touching her eye because it's fake. In that scene. So it could go after Nibs, and you could see, that kind of thing. So if we're saying that it can connect with the synthetic brain, yeah, maybe. Well, maybe it is, but who knows?
Maybe it'll be the T-Rex at the end of Jurassic Park and save them from the alien.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do think we're in for a couple showdowns for sure. Yeah. So I think this is a good spot as any to wrap it up. We still got a lot of questions. Mike's more hopeful. I'm a little less hopeful, obviously. 4 more episodes to go. Join us for our next episode for this series, where we talk about 5 and 6 of, I don't know, do you know the names of the episodes? Alien Earth 5 and 6?
5 and 6 are going to be called In Space, No One, ... and The Fly.
Okay. So, someone getting changed? Someone getting turned into something?
Or that's one of the other,
maybe
one of the other aliens, maybe, or something.
Okay, so we'll look forward to that. That's going to be our next episode for this now showing series, which we're doing TV.
We're doing 2 episodes in 1 episode. That's why it's 5 and 6.
Yeah. 4 episodes. 4 episodes for this now showing series for Alien Earth. Mike, why don't you know? Why don't we do your thing? Let everyone know where they can find us. Yeah,
you can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or right here on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I believe this is a YouTube exclusive series. I didn't post it now. Yeah. So this is YouTube only. Like, rate, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think is going to happen. Do you think the Xenomorph is the 5th alien, or do you think there's another alien yet to be revealed? Let us know that in the comments. If you like us, we have our main show every Wednesday. It's a podcast about forgotten films that seem to be forgotten by audiences, whether it be because a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We go through film facts, what we thought about the film, all that good stuff. It's very similar to this show. With a little bit more kind of making of stuff because they're older films. We get to our now showings for new movies. We're doing our Conjuring lead-up series. We have a bunch of different lead-up series, but right now we're doing the Conjuring films leading up to Conjuring Last Rites in a couple, actually this week. We're going to be watching it this coming week. So check that out and just keep it here on Forgotten Cinema for all your cinema needs. Let us know as well. We don't say it very often anymore, but what movies you want us to do in the main show, what now showings you're interested in us doing. We do take that into consideration, and we add all those movies to our big list of forgotten films as well.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Look forward to all the stuff that Mike talked about and the next episode in this series. So I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema, now showing Alien Earth. See ya.